Hey, it's Randy from Funeral Funds of America. In this video, I'm going to share with you the actual pricing for $10,000 worth of burial, cremation, final expense, life insurance, or funeral funds for a 54-year-old male. Now, first thing I recommend is just go directly to our website at funeralfunds.com. And we've got these free quotes on just about every page. And all you need to do is select the state that you live in, select the coverage amount, put your birth date, rest of the info, click Get Quotes Now. It will take you to a page that's going to show you the best insurance companies that are going to offer the lowest pricing that you may qualify for in your state based off your age. So take advantage of that. You can also call us at 888-862-9456, and one of our licensed agents can actually run those rates or give you any other help that you may be needing. Now, the first thing we always recommend for a 54-year-old male looking for $10,000 is just to really just assess, is $10,000 even going to be appropriate for their final expense needs? Now, typically final expense is going to be either cremation or burial. Let's start with the cremation though. The average cost of a cremation right now in the United States is between $1,000 to $2,000. That's if you just come home in a cardboard box or an urn. Now, if you're going to have some sort of a ceremony, like a celebration of life or remembrance ceremony, then that's, in addition to the cremation, that's probably going to be $3,500 to $4,500. So as far as coverage amounts, what we would recommend for that cremation where you're going to come home in a cardboard box or an urn, we would typically recommend between $5,000 to $7,000. Now you're probably saying, well, Randy, you said the cremation's $2,000, but the coverage is $5,000. What's the deal there? Well, the deal is you're 54 years old. You probably want to make it to 64 and maybe even 74. And we know that prices increase over time due to inflation. So what we want to do is just build in some extra coverage in there just to inflation proof our plan in the future going forward. So the nice thing about getting that $5,000 is it's going to inflation proof the plan, but God forbid if you die sooner than you thought, there's going to be some extra money in there to maybe pay off some extra other final expense bills, like maybe medical bills or credit card bills or something like that, that if you'd lived long enough, you wouldn't, they would all be paid off. So for the cremation where you're going to have the ceremony, we'd typically recommend around $7,000 to $10,000. And again, we're doing two things. We're actually inflation proofing the plan for the future, but also providing a little bit more money up front. God forbid you die a little sooner than anybody thought. Now, if you're going to get buried, the average cost of a burial right now in the United States is right around $10,000. Pretty much you can walk into just about any funeral home in the United States. If you got a $10,000 check, they'll get things taken care of. Now, mind you, it may not be very fancy, but they should get it done. It's hard to believe hard to imagine that they would say, no, we're not going to take that money. Then you could just walk out the door and walk 2 blocks down the road to their competitors and give them the money. But just understand, again, it's not going to be anything fancy. And at $10,000, your plan is not going to be inflation proofed going forward. So for a 54-year-old male, if money's really tight, if you're on a fixed or limited income, you could start with $10,000. But more often than not, we're helping people with anywhere between $15,000 to $20,000. And just keep in mind that if you do need to start smaller, we can always help you add more coverage later. So yeah, if you want to start out at 10, we could always get you another 5,000 or 10,000 later in life. Now, one thing that also happens too is sometimes we'll get a 54-year-old that will say, hey, I want to leave some extra money behind for my kids. And they'll say, so I want like 30, 40, maybe $50,000. And, say we run a $50,000 for them, and it's just, it might be a little expensive just because it's out of their budget a little bit. And sometimes they'll say, well, if I can't do 50,000, I'm not going to do anything at all. And we just always encourage people to have a different outlook on this, because if you don't do anything at all, then your kids are 100% going to have to pay this for you, and they're going to get stuck, and they'll probably have to put it on a credit card at 26% interest, and they're going to be paying on this for years and years and years. So what we actually recommend, if that's the case, just take care of your final needs first. And then if you want to follow up at a later time, we can always add in a policy just for the kids. Now, one thing we always recommend is getting first day coverage or benefits. That's really important. We do not recommend those plans with 2-year waiting periods. Yeah, we don't recommend those at all. We'll talk about this in a minute. But yeah, you do want first day coverage or benefits. And what that means is, hypothetically, if your policy were issued and approved today and you died tomorrow, the insurance company would have to pay out that full amount. And that's exactly what you want. That's how you're going to get the lowest prices and the most coverage. Now, so some people would say, hey, Randy, I like that first day coverage, but I've got some health issues and I'm worried I might not qualify due to that. And we say, well, your health issues those are our concern, not your concern, at least from an insurance standpoint. And what we mean by that is that there is, we work with so many different insurance companies. They all have different health questions. They all have different underwriting requirements. And right now we're getting around 95% of the people we help approved for either first day coverage or benefits. So we're really terrific at what we do. Really, the only reason we wouldn't be able to get you approved for first day coverage is if you had some really significant medical issues, like maybe you had a terminal illness and you're going to pass away in the next 12 months, or you had dementia, or you're on dialysis, or you're in a hospital or in a nursing home. If that were the case, we'd typically just refer you out to a different insurance company. The other thing that can happen, and it seems like this happens every week, we get a call from somebody and they say, hey, we had a family member pass away this last week. They didn't have insurance. We don't have any money. The body's down at the funeral home. The funeral home director's not going to do anything without getting a check in his hand. So we need to get this insurance really quick so that we can pay the funeral home guy. And we have to let them know that there's no insurance company in the United States that's going to offer a policy on a dead person. You actually have to be alive to qualify for this insurance. So yeah, it's just so important to get this before you need it. And it's so sad that a family member, number one, it's sad that they died, but it's also sad, number two, that they didn't have this insurance. They knew they were going to die in the future. They just didn't know when. They probably thought about getting this insurance, but they never did it. And they just put it off until one day they just went and died. And now their family's going to have to pay for it. And chances are they're going to have to put it on a credit card, pay 26% interest. So yeah, it's just a terrible legacy to leave behind. You could have done everything else right in life, and then you mess this up, and that's how you're going to be remembered. So don't do that. Let us help you. If you need to start with a smaller amount, we can always do that and then add more coverage later. Now, one thing we don't recommend is those plans with 2-year waiting periods. And you may not know this, but the Colonial Penn $9.95 plan, that's a 2-year waiting period. You've probably seen them. They seem to advertise on TV all the time. Like, I swear, I almost see a commercial every 7 minutes. But yeah, that $9.95 plan is a 2-year waiting period. And boy, you want to avoid that if you can qualify for first day coverage, which let us help you do that. We can save you a lot of money. But yeah, Colonial Penn's not the only 2-year waiting period company out there. There's other ones. There's Mutual of Omaha, there's United of Omaha, and AIG Gerber, and just a host of different other insurance companies out there. And some of these companies out there have done an incredible job of convincing the American public that if they're over age 50, if you're over age 50, they've done an incredible job of convincing people that the only thing you qualify for is a 2-year waiting period. To which we always respond, don't believe such nonsense, because we help people get covered with first day coverage all the time. Now, our 54-year-old male is probably thinking, you know what? I can probably, because I'm so young, I can probably qualify for a lot of coverage with Colonial Penn. It's only $9.95. I should probably be able to get $30,000, $40,000, maybe even $50,000 for $9.95. And then our 54-year-old male checks with Colonial Penn, talks with one of their agents, or maybe gets on their website like we've done for you here, and finds out that one unit of coverage, which costs $9.95, is only going to pay out $1,460. Now, $1,460 is enough to pay for a cremation in some parts of the country right now. But it doesn't matter, because this plan's got a 2-year waiting period. It's not going to pay out if you die of any health or medical reason in the first 2 years. So why would you get a plan that's not going to do what you need it to do and have a 2-year waiting period? We don't encourage that at all. Now, some people would say that the companies out there that offer kind of really low teaser rates, that they actually don't want to sell you the minimal plan, right? They don't want to do that. They just want to do that to get your information. And then what they do is they get you in their marketing funnel, and then they start calling you and emailing you. And once they get in touch with you, they show you how minimal the coverage is, and then try to upsell you into higher coverage amounts, which is much more profitable for them. Now, we would never say that Colonial Penn would do anything like that, but some people believe that, I'm sure. And maybe you can determine that on your own, just knowing that you're only going to get $1,460 for $995. But this video, we're looking at $10,000. That's kind of what our goal is here. So we got to figure out how many units, because most other insurance companies, you can actually buy $10,000 worth of insurance if you're 54. But not Colonial Penn. They've got this per unit pricing so that they can offer that lowest $995 per unit. And then everything just gets more expensive. So let's take a look. Is it 7 units? There we go. See, here's what I said. You can't get 10,000 on the nose. You're going to have to get 10,220. And it's going to be $70 with the 2-year waiting period. So let's go see what that would be, what that would cost for first day coverage. So we've got 10,000 here. Male, age 54. We're going to click get quote. And again, 10,000 here is around $70. And you can see here, we can actually get that same 10,000 right here. And first day coverage, this level means first day coverage, we can get that same 10,000 for $31 versus $70. So in this instance, Colonial Penn is well over 200% more expensive than first day coverage. And they're going to sock you with the 2-year waiting period. And let's just say this round, let's see, that's $32 versus $70. So Colonial Penn's going to be right around $38 more than our first day coverage plan costs. And you gotta consider this. Colonial Penn's going to make you overpay that $38 every month from now on until the day you die. So it really adds up. So if you take $38 a month times 12 months, that's going to be right around $456. And if our 54-year-old male lives till age 64, then he will have overpaid right around $4,560. So imagine if he lives 20 years. But yeah, do you really want to overpay an insurance company right around $4,560 roundabout? We recommend you keep that money in your own bank account. Don't give that money to an insurance company that you're going to overpay for the rest of your life. If you just need to be a smart consumer, and it's okay if you're not a smart consumer, we can help you be one. We do that all the time, and we can save you a lot of money and get first day coverage. Let's look at some other companies here. You'll be able to scroll through and see these ones, all these different ones. 32, like Lumico here. I mean, it's level first day coverage, but it's about $10 more a month. And you go, well, that's not that much, but it adds up. $10 a month times 12 months is $120 times 10 years is $1,200. Why would you ever give $1,200 away to an insurance company when you don't have to for the same exact type of coverage and death benefit? It makes no sense. Let's go a little more. Here's one. Lincoln Heritage. They're a fine company, I guess, but look at their pricing. It's so expensive. It is level coverage, but look at that pricing. It's so expensive. And the reason they're more expensive is they've got a deal where when you pass away, they will supposedly call 2 or 3 funeral homes to get the lowest pricing for you and maybe do a couple other things, but they don't do that for free. They charge for that. I mean, it's almost $50 a month. But let's just round it down to $48 a month versus 48 versus 31. So that's roughly around $17 more a month you would have to pay to go with a Lincoln Heritage plan versus a Trinity Life. And that $17 a month times 12 months equals right around $204 more a year. So if our 54-year-old male lives to age 64, 10 years, they will have overpaid right around $2,040 more than they should have. So you got to ask yourself, is it worth overpaying an insurance company, over $2,000 more to call 2 or 3 funeral homes and maybe do a couple other things that might only take an hour or so to do? You know, most people would say that's a pretty good payday for the insurance company, $2,000 an hour. And we would tend to agree. We recommend you not do that. We recommend actually going with a lower price company. And then what we offer at Funeral Funds of America is we've got a free funeral and estate planning guide. And all you need to do is just download that off our website and then print it out. And once you've printed it out, then all you need to do is fill it out. You just write in who gets what goes where, and what you want to happen after you're gone. And then you keep that with your insurance policy. And then when you pass away, your family members goes to that one place, and they're going to see that they're not only protected financially with the insurance policy, but also emotionally with the funeral and the estate planning guide. Because all they need to do is open that funeral and estate planning guide up, read it, and follow your wishes. And they will know that you loved and protected them not only in life, but you loved and protected them that one last time in death. Yeah, actually at a time when they would need you the most and you are actually gone. What a wonderful gift of love, though, to leave behind for your family, knowing that you loved and cared for them right up until the very end. What a wonderful legacy to leave behind. So we can help you with that legacy. So go to our website, funeralfunds.com. We've got a special quarter for our YouTube visitors, funeralfunds.com/YouTube, and you can get the best rates and the most discounts there. It's terrific. Take advantage of that. You can also call us at our toll-free number, 888-862-9456. Talk with one of our licensed agents. But yeah, whether you've got an existing policy you want us to price shop just to see if we can get you better pricing, or if you even want to add coverage to that, we can help you out with that. If you need brand new coverage, or you just have some questions on what you might qualify for or what might be more appropriate for you, we can help you out with that. But we look forward to that day when we can get you the most amount of coverage for the least amount of money. And we will be blessed to help you with that at some point in the future. Until that day comes, you stay safe, you take care, you have a nice day. Bye-bye.